TWM podcast.
WWE has seemingly lost its mind, so you know we got some smack talk in us. Hello there, it's Matty filling in for Smiley this week, running down all things from last night's SmackDown. Before I introduce who's with me today, let's run through all the bits and bobs, shall we? This is the TWM podcast, bringing you wrestling content 6 days a week. You can get us on Apple and Google Podcasts, Acast, Spotify, TuneIn, Podbean, YouTube, and anywhere else podcasts can be downloaded. If you are listening on YouTube and you're not subscribed already, please subscribe and smash that like button and turn on notifications so you do not miss a single video. Download the We Love Sport app as well on the App Store or Google Play Store. Follow them at We Love Sport UK and check out welovesport.co. Obviously the app isn't exactly the most useful at the moment, but it's great to have when this whole thing blows over. But right now they're doing some great content on their Twitter and their website, so go and check that out. We Love Sport UK and welovesport.co. Also Wrestle Crate, they've got their latest crate coming out with starring AEW star Brody Lee. That's going to be available very, very soon, and if you use the code TWM Wrestling at wrestlecrate.co.uk, you can get up to 3 free items when you sign up for a monthly subscription at wrestlecrate.co.uk. Alongside me to discuss all things Friday night is, as always, the erstwhile Rhys. Hello there.
Are you ready for a good time?
I'm ready for a weird time because, like I said, WWE isolation is a hell of a drug, it looks like, because WWE has officially lost its mind. But we're going to get to that in just a little bit. I thought, considering this is kind of the first podcast that was recorded in order, everything's been a bit out of order this week due to, obviously, Wednesday, all the WWE releases. This is the first podcast to really talk about the really sad news from Thursday, which was obviously the passing of Howard Finkel. Incredibly sad news, and he's been ill for a very long time. But of course, he's a huge deal. He's like a cornerstone of WWE and WWF. The first employee that WWE ever had, and he was there from the beginning, right up until his passing. I believe he was still kind of working in a capacity even during his last few years. Now, for me, I thought that he was around a lot more than I thought he was during my childhood, but it turns out when I was kind of looking up stuff when we learned about the passing of the thing, that he was stopped ring announcing full time by the time I'd started watching wrestling. So that must show, Rhys, how much of like a imprint the thing had left on the WWE, that he was pretty much part-time, if not a special guest, by the time I started watching in 2000, but I still remember him fondly.
Yeah, he's the GOAT for sure. I have the same feeling, sort of thinking back. He's the first kind of ring announcer I remember, but also, as you say, by the time I started watching wrestling, he wasn't around full-time. So, yeah, like completely as you said, that shows what an impact he had. Remember on those early SmackDown video games, he was the announcer on there as well. So that always brings back fond memories as well. Like, the Fink, absolute legend.
I have a really specific one that I remember. It's the first time I kind of really remember a big ring announcer. Like obviously I remember that from like WrestleMania X7 and all that as well. But the one I remember is Judgment Day 2000. You know, the Triple H Rock Iron Man match.
Yeah.
And when the Undertaker comes out and then he tombstones Triple H and the bell rings and then he gives like the amazing dramatic pause of like, the winner 5 falls to 4 and new WWF champion. Everyone's like, oh, son of a bitch. He brought that drama, that gravitas, and also he just like, he did the silly. He did a lot of the silly, which was great. They on the VT on SmackDown, they showed probably the worst crotch chops this side of Vince McMahon from Howard Finkel when he was with X-Pac. I think SummerSlam 98. But yeah, like It's a staple of many people's childhoods. It's a staple of the WWE that's no longer with us. And obviously, our condolences go out to the friends and family of Howard Finkel. But as much, I imagine he would be saying, the show must go on, as WWE often like to say. So let's talk about last night's episode of SmackDown. The main talking point from last night appears to be, Rhys, that WWE has officially lost its ever-loving mind.
Yeah, I think maybe being locked inside for I'm starting to get a bit of cabin fever. Cabin
fever is officially set in, or Vince is just not reading scripts, because WWE has announced that this year's Money in the Bank ladder match, both of them, will be the most unique ladder match ever, where it will begin at the bottom of WWE corporate headquarters, which they're calling it now, or as we know it, Titan Towers, with the briefcase suspended above the ring on the roof of the building. Now, photos did get leaked of this. I don't know if you've seen the photos of the ring on top of the building and how they've filmed a lot of the they might have filmed a lot of the Money in the Bank ladder match already, with the building basically empty at the moment due to obviously social distancing and furloughing and stuff. But this is completely insane.
Well, I guess the office is going to be completely empty at the moment. They've sacked all their staff, so you may as well put it to some use.
Yeah, this is WrestleMania 19 revenge mode in real life. If anyone's ever played the game, it's on the very underrated GameCube series of WWE games. They were all brilliant, if we're honest. But there was a game mode where you would just throw workers off of platforms, slowly climbing up to the top level of like a scaffolding thing. It's basically that. This is going to be mental. But in the best possible way. I've not seen anyone complain, but I imagine there's a lot of people going, "This isn't wrestling, AEW," when I realise the wrestling is inherently ridiculous in the grand scheme of things anyway.
I imagine Jim Cornette is having some kind of field day right now. I don't know, because he blocked me, so I can't see what he says.
I muted him because life is worth living, so I'm not bothering with that nonsense anymore. But yeah, I'm very excited for this because they nailed the Boneyard match. That was fantastic, and they nailed the Firefly Funhouse with how ridiculously meta that is. This is going to be brilliant, but I have one thing. Good on WWE going outside the box, but I'm telling them now, someone better be going off the building.
Yeah, it's a possibility. They could definitely shoot something. Thinking maybe Jeff Hardy doing a swanton bomb off the top of a building.
Off the top of Titan Towers.
Yeah.
But I want it done really poorly. A lot of people do really, really bad green screen. Well, you can clearly see the keying around it. I want him to do it that badly that you can do it, and he's just like, "Whoa!" as he's falling off the building.
Or just do Team America, where you see the wires above them.
Yeah, very slowly, or just Nollywood style, where it's just very poor CGI. It's brilliant. This is going to be really, really strange. I hope they're going to people that are in it. There's a few people that have been announced. Obviously, Shayna Baszler's in it, which is going to be really strange to see an MMA fighter just literally go around fighting in an office. Nia Jax is in it. Dana Brooke over Naomi in this kind of match. Are you high? Why would you not put the most athletic woman in the WWE in a match which literally is going to promote how athletic you can possibly be? As I am being extremely unprofessional and didn't put my phone on silent. I'll leave this in to put myself on blast.
I think Naomi could probably just climb up the side of a building without even needing to go in.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want John Morrison in this to be full parkour.
I want the Miz to just go in the elevator and just arrive on the top floor after racing up.
No, Miz is a Hollywood star. He needs to have a helicopter. just fly, have the shortest Money Back match ever as Miz just comes in, gets dropped down, or just hovers over the top of the helicopter and just grabs the briefcase and goes, "Thank you, ring the bell."
You got to know someone's head is getting put in the photocopy machine as copies of their face comes out.
Yeah, that's going to happen. What else? I'm trying to think of other things, because WCPW did this first. They did a boiler room brawl in their building that then led to their office. So I'm trying to get other things to do. Someone needs to go into a toilet. That as well. They've got to mess up either Vince or Triple H's office, one or the other. Just smash it up. That's got to happen.
They could do a lot of callbacks, you know. You remember Regal's office back in the day when he's there with the picture of the Queen and his...
so you want someone to piss in someone's tea? Is that what you want?
Pretty much.
I want them to do like reenact loads of stuff from the old WWF Super Bowl ads they did in the corporate in Titan Towers. To just reenact that for the whole thing. Brian's in it over Cesaro. Cesaro hit a Gorilla Press GTS, which was very, very nice. However, why did Cesaro go full Jim Duggan in this match? I don't know if you noticed this. He was like working over Daniel Bryan. He's looked down and just went "ho" for no reason. It was bizarre. Some reason Cesaro. Yeah, Cesaro's
trying to get that cheap heat, I guess. I don't know.
that cheap Jim Duggan heat that we're all very much aware of. Yeah, that's going to be absolutely insane. I don't know what to expect from that match, but hopefully there's a lot of shenanigans. On the other side of the coin, Fire and Desire exploded on SmackDown last night as Sonya Deville tried to clear the air with Mandy Rose. However, she cleared the air by saying it was always about her and she was always ready to kick her to the curb the second something else came along. This ended in a big brawl between them, Otis and Dolph Ziggler. And I'm going to put over one of my faves, one of my girls on SmackDown, because Sonya Deville was tremendous on this, Rhys.
Yeah, the reaction to this has been really, really positive from everything I've seen, really. Yeah, I think everyone's been really pleasantly surprised with how good she was on the mic.
She was brilliant. Like, the acting was great. We were waiting for the turn of like, I'm sorry, I didn't do it earlier, like that, the typical thing. But she played it so well. Like, she looked genuinely like you are my friend. And all this, and then she turns like, you are really selfish. And Mandy Rose was great because Mandy Rose, like, it's in these things, some people can like really overact and be like, no, never. But she was acting genuinely like a friend that had been like turned on, that didn't know what was going on. She's like, what are you talking about? Like, this has never been about you. Like, I've never done anything to her. Like, by not acting, she did the best possible job at acting in this scenario. Because she had the legitimate reaction of like a friend being like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, let me ask you a question on that point. Who's in the wrong here? Because I'm struggling to sort of see. Obviously, I see where Sonya's coming from, but I think she's in the wrong in what she's saying. She sounds very, very jealous of Mandy.
This is the point.
Done anything?
This is the point I like, because all good heels have a small point. And Sonya has a point of, it's always been about Mandy. However, if you look at the grand scheme of things, Mandy Rose has never like willingly made it about her. Like, everyone's made it about Mandy, and she's like, all this stuff, and she's like, I've never done it. Like, I've always bigged you up. I've always like stuck by you. And also, I do think that they are going to play, like, they're playing a little bit in. You know, there was like the rumor of them doing the like relationship storyline between Sonya and Mandy. I think they are playing in a little bit that maybe Sonya cared a bit more about Mandy than maybe Mandy about Sonya, but Mandy didn't realize, because she was like, I brought you to my sister's wedding. You were my friend, you were my roommate, you were my sister, you were my partner. And then it's one of those where like they're not going over the top, but they're bringing in that little element. It's so well done. I can't believe how well written, like, and they're just obviously they furloughed or got rid of the right at the start of this, but this is so well written, and like it's one of the best written storylines I've WWE have done in years.
You know, when she attacked Mandy as well, and Dolph was really surprised, as in like, you know, what are you doing? I care about, want to win her back. So, you know, where each character stands in this is shifting week by week. It's really interesting.
When you've got Dolph Ziggler, and I'm like, actually, he's a really important part of this storyline, and you've got him being like, no, this has got out of hand. I actually really care about Mandy, and he's not being the typical like, why would you be with him? He's like, no, there's something between us, and I feel like you're throwing that away. And then Mandy's still being like, no, I've like. Whereas the big bad in all of this is Sonya Deville, Dolph Ziggler's almost being like the good bad guy. He's like, he's on the side of the heel, but his intentions are good. He's like, no, I actually genuinely care about Mandy. So we could end up getting like a face turn maybe from Dolph in this, or maybe next week they're now going to change it and he'll be like, well, you've rejected me now, so now I'm on the side of Deville. The key thing is where's Tucky? Where is Tucker? We don't know. Are we maybe going to have Ziggler and Otis and Mandy on one side, and then we're going to have Tucky and Deville going forward? Like, I'm interested. I feel like this is going to be a mixed tag Money in the Bank. It makes sense to have Mandy and Otis against. It's weird because this should make sense that it should be Mandy and Heavy Machinery against Robert Roode, Dolph Ziggler, and Sonya. But Robert Roode's not come back yet. So,
yeah, I completely forgot about him. Yeah, he's Dolph's tag partner, isn't he?
So I don't know what's going on there. So maybe it is going to be just a mixed tag and not a intergent or a mixed 6-person tag instead. However, one little issue with this, I would say, don't end like a heated segment with like an emotional promo. End it with Otis doing the caterpillar. It kind of took the heat off it a little bit. It made it a bit silly.
You gotta, send the crowd home happy, pop them.
Yeah, pop the imaginary crowd.
TWM podcasts are brought to you by We Love Sport, the fantastic app finding you your nearest sports bar showing the latest WWE pay-per-views. We Love Sport has over 400 of the best sports bars and pubs in the UK at your fingertips and allows you to book front row seats, giving you the best views of the action. You can also check out what sports are being shown over the next 7 days, making sure you don't miss a second of the action. Download the We Love Sport app on the App Store or Google Play Store. Follow We Love Sport on all social media platforms at We Love Sport UK and check out welovesport.co.
TWM podcasts have joined forces with WrestleCrate, the original and best monthly theme, monthly wrestling subscription service to bring you a fantastic deal. If you use the code TWM Wrestling when you sign up to a monthly subscription at WrestleCrate.co.uk, you will receive a free item in your first month's box. Then, if you stay for another month, you'll get a second free item. And then, if you stay for a third month, you guessed it, we'll give you a third free item. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. WrestleCrate brings you the best swag from the biggest companies and names in the wrestling world. We're talking t-shirts, photos, pins, DVDs, vinyl figures, and loads more from WWE, Progress, Shakara, NXT, Fight Club Pro, and loads more. That's WrestleCrate.co.uk and use the code TWM Wrestling for up to free items, all thanks to WrestleCrate and TWM.
So I heard this on, I think it was shout out to the boys New Legacy Inc. who are doing bits raising money for COVID-19 relief at the moment on Twitch. Someone they did mention they were watching their games where the crowd just bopped up and down like in Ghana. I mean, why don't we just do that? To get a bunch of cardboard cutouts and put them on motors, so they just bob up and down in the crowd. I was like, that would be brilliantly weird if they just put fake people in the crowd.
Or just the best of signs from over the years.
Just cut them. Someone, I think they mentioned they should just put LED walls around. Just put the 2K20 crowd just on around. So it makes sense. Other bits on SmackDown from this week. Actually, something quite big of note. They had another triple threat match for the SmackDown Tag Team titles, and Big E won the belts for the New Day. This was out of nowhere. I fully expected Miz to shit out his way to a retention, but Big E won in a really quick match that seemed like they were rushed for time, and putting the belts on the New Day, unless they are going to put Joe Mo in Money in the Bank, for me doesn't make sense because I don't think the New Day need the belts.
Yeah, it was surprising, and it did seem to come out of nowhere. It seemed to happen really quick, which is quite surprising on a show like this where this was pre-taped, right?
No, this is the last SmackDown that's going to be live.
Oh, this one was okay, so I guess
yeah.
Maybe they could have been running over time. But yeah, it didn't seem to be building towards this at all. The whole story, I kind of thought it was just a match to put on from after Mania, just to fill a match on this card. I didn't expect a title change at all, let alone in a triple threat match where it's not even a tag team match. So yeah, really surprised with that one.
Yeah, I was really, really shocked by this. I was watching the show, kind of doing bits and bobs while watching it, and then the bell rang. I was like, oh, it's finished. Okay. we shout out to Xavier Woods that managed to just basically use his celebration of winning the belts by plugging his YouTube channel. He was actually, funny enough, I give it a lot of love to New Legacy. He was on a stream with New Legacy last night, and he made the night before rather, and he made an amazing point where he's like, I'm the only person to have won the TNA and WWE tag team titles without wrestling for them. He's like, I won the tag belts when I was injured, could technically count under Freebird rule, and also he was given the belt when Pac-Man Jones couldn't wrestle in TNA. So he's won 2 sets of tag belts without even actually being in the ring for them, which is amazing.
That takes some talent.
He celebrated by plugging his YouTube, which was great. And then Big E was given a full 3 minutes to just go mental on the belts by like rolling around, jumping on Corey Graves.
His own live sex celebration with belts.
That was it. It was literally a live sex celebration, live in the Performance Center. The Hackerman returned. He came back. He's saying the truth will be heard. It looks like they're going to go across several stories with this, because they kind of looked at the Usos, looked at the New Day, which will be interesting if they are doing that now. If Big E just won the belts on his own, are they going to like have maybe some stuff of Big E talking about how he's the best person in the New Day, maybe get some tension there? Like, I'm very intrigued where they're going with this, because it looks like this isn't a one and done, then they reveal who it is. It looks like it's going to be a constant thread throughout WWE over the summer.
Yeah, and it's, again, that's something really quite smart, I think, that they can do, because what would there not be in a crowd? Move into more pre-tape stuff, backstage segments, stuff that isn't in the ring, and kind of having this hacker who can leak footage of certain people not knowing they're being filmed, saying things about other people. There's some really good possibilities with this. Yeah,
like I'm also very. They keep mentioning the word truth over and over again. I'm really scared that they're just going to back out of this and be like, "It's me, RTruth," and it's just going to be him. Maybe like womp womp, goofy joke. But they seem to be taking this really seriously, which is good. Are
we still thinking it's Ali at this point, or is that they're making that the obvious choice to then go and swerve it and someone completely unexpected?
At this point, I don't think they know who it is. I think that what they're doing is they're going to long this out during the no crowd era, and then when they get back to crowd, then they'll start waiting it, because I don't think they want to reveal it without the reaction of a crowd. So I wouldn't be surprised if this goes on for a few months of like little bits and bobs, and then eventually, like when they've got the all clear to get back into mass crowds, like mass gatherings, then they'll be like, right, we can then start having someone trying to hunt down who the Hackerman is. So I'm
a happy accident.
Yeah, but at this point, I imagine the original idea was Ali, but there's a lot more scope for them to play with this now. So I'm very intrigued.
Do you know who I hope it is? Who's
that?
The vigilante Sting.
It's just the return of Sting. Sting is anonymous. This is what's going to happen. We also got Strowman on a moment of bliss, the return of Team Little Big, but Wyatt left him a present, which was a black sheep mask. I don't want this to just be a match between Strowman. It looks like it's going to be a match between Strowman and Wyatt, not Strowman and The Fiend. So I hope it's a gimmick match, or they do some sort of gimmickry with it, rather than just a singles match. Like, I think all Bray Wyatt matches should be these pre-taped gimmick matches until they're back in front of a crowd.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Did they do a match, like, since Wyatt's been The Fiend, he has had a couple of matches as Wyatt, right? Didn't he have a match against The Miz?
Yeah, he's had one match as Wyatt, and that was against The Miz at TLC. So, like, I'm very intrigued where they're going to go with this. I'm hoping they're going to like gimmick it up in some form or fashion. We got some little exhibition bits as well from earlier on in the night. We got Carmella was not happy with Dana Brooke having a Money in the Bank qualifier a week before they're going to have a women's tag team title match. Possibly a Mella heel turn coming up, which I don't think would hurt at all.
You'd have to think that's the way they're going, because you can't really think Carmella is just in her reaction to this. Like, they're not a tag team. Can't really be that annoyed about someone having a match a week before the next match. Like, that's what literally everyone does.
Yeah. We also had Tamina. She won her match against Sasha Banks, to Tamina train rolling into Championship Station. I will say...
can 2020 get any worse?
Tamina as women's champion. I will say, and there's a lot of ragging on Lacey Evans on this show, rightfully so, because she's a lot of awful things to a lot of people. Her run-in to counteract counteract Bayley was great. The run-in, jumping off the stairs, and then shoulder barging her out of the way, which was lovely stuff. But yeah, so Tamina's got her match, and then next week we've got Lacey Evans versus Sasha Banks, and she's got a woman's right with Sasha's name on that she drew on her hand, which was a bit weird. We also had Sheamus after beating some guy, I can't remember his name. He was pissed at Cole and Grace for talking over him regarding Jeff Hardy again, so it looks like they're going to have those guys. That's going to be a feud, possibly in the Money in the Bank match. Maybe Sheamus throws Jeff Hardy off Titan Towers, we don't know. We also get an elongated torture segment as King Corbin, who is, we've all realised, is the king of having feuds that go on just that little bit too long, broke Elias's hand and then shattered his throat. So that means King Corbin has attempted to murder Elias twice now.
Yeah, but I guess he's the king. He makes it.
So he's allowed to
try to go against him. It's treason.
Yeah, so therefore he's allowed to execute them. Next week, King Corbin's gonna have a light up against the wall and have him done by firing squad. He was making those weird noises that Shane McMahon made when he got powerbombed on that metal thing, the ghost penis noise, as we have called it. But yeah, that was SmackDown. It was okay. It was a pretty decent episode. Definitely worth your watching, just for the little bits in between. And the segment. Go and watch the Deville Mandy Rose segment. It is very, very good.
I think since they've been doing these shows, I think this is probably the best one so far.
Yeah, I would say this is the best TV show they've done. Raw has been Raw was okay this week, but it has been pretty gash for a while now. SmackDown's been okay, to be fair. This was definitely the better one out of the few. But yes, that's Smack Talk for this week. That is it, donezo. If you want to keep across everything we do, all of our stuff is at TWM Wrestle. Obviously, we cover all sorts on twm.news, WWE, NXT, AEW, New Japan, British Wrestling, International Wrestling, loads more. Keep across all that. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch as well. I imagine we'll be doing Twitch predictions for Money in the Bank, even though it's going to be very, very strange. But yeah, Rhys, your social medias, if you please.
So I have a new handle.
I saw this, baffled me yesterday when I saw someone tag you and stuff.
Well, I thought I tweet about 99% about wrestling, so I thought it was time. The handle is Rhys on Wrestling.
I've never seen that handle before. That is a totally unique handle. I've never.
Very original.
It's very original. You can follow me at MattyID. Thank you very much for listening. Smiley will be back next week talking all things Friday Night SmackDown right here on Smack Talk.